Recording in progress.
Hi, everyone from Asia and to all our audiences from all parts of the world. This is CPD Asia, the online continuing professional development platform for Asian radiologic technology societies. And hosting the 29th CPD Asia is the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, PAMRT. And I am Peachy Luna, the CPD Asia Secretary General and your CPD Asia program host. Before we start the program, allow me to call on behalf of Mr. Mohammed Abdel Ghani, the Vice President of Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, PAMRT. Please welcome Ala Odi to give us the welcome address.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Luna, for your introduction. I'm Mohammed Abdel Ghani from Palestine, the president of the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, PAMRT. This is the first time we participate in CPD ASIA. I would like to thank everybody attending this webinar. I would like to thank you all, the societies of ASIA, for supporting us. I meet most of you in Bangkok in the World Congress of ISRT. It's my pleasure to meet you, and I am very grateful to collaborate with all the Asian societies. Thank you for your attending. Thank you for your support, and thank you, Lona, for your introduction.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Vice President Mohammed Abdel Ghani. We are live streaming on YouTube. You can search PARI and VART channels so you can watch and join us live and watch a replay. This CPD Asia is highly supported and graced by member societies, presidents, all the officers and their representatives. Let us greet and welcome President of Macau Radiological Technologists Association, MRTA President Fernando Koch. I think we can have the chairman of MRTA, Chairman Coran, to give us a greeting from Macau.
Hello, nice to meet you. Glad to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you. We have from Perhimpunan Radiographers Indonesia, Indonesian Society of Radiographers, President Dr. Gek Sugianto.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again. Assalamualaikum, President. Yeah.
We also have the President of Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, VART President Thai Van Loc.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we have also President of Hong Kong Radiographers Association, Mr. Nang Tat Ning, and the Vice President Wan Shun Boon Nelson.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hello, welcome, President Tat Nang Ning. We have also President Chun Yuan Tu of Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, TAMRT. We are sending also our greetings to Singapore Society of Radiographers, President Denise Chul. And with us here is the President of Malaysian Society of Radiographers, President Mr. Sawal Marsait.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have greetings to President of Indonesian Society of Radiographers and Technologists, ISRT President Selva Kumar. Our greetings to President Sophie Lee of the Association of Cambodian Radiological Technologists, to President Rolando Benares of the Philippine Association of Radiologic Technologists, and also joining us as our invited panelists, we have President of Japan Association of Radiologic Technologists, President Mr. Katsuhiko Ueda, and the President of Taiwan Society of Radiological Technologists, President Vincent Kunwei Wang. We also have invited other panelists from different countries, and we have here Madam Chan Lai Kwan.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Nice to meet some of you again, even though it's online. I hope you will have a good webinar today. Congratulations to the Palestine Society.
Thank you. And we have from Japan, we have Mr. Yusuke Akita and Dr. Yamashina.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. We are so glad to be here. We are very pleased to be here. So thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. It's my first time to participate here, so I'm very happy. I'm glad to see you. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you, dear presidents and officers and our panelists. They will be joining us again later during the Q&A session. For the meantime, may I humbly request to please open your camera along with our speakers and our session moderator for a short photo session. All right, thank you. So before we start the program, may I introduce to you briefly our moderator. She is the head of Radiology and Mammogram Department of the Ministry of Health in Jericho and worked for 8 years as a nuclear medicine technologist with master degree from Al-Quds University. She is a member of the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, and for today, she is representing the President and Vice President for this webinar. Please welcome our session moderator, Ms. Ala Odi.
Thank you, Luna. Good morning from Palestine to all over the Asian technologists and over the world. Welcome to the 29th ASIA CPD Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. And we are pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for years, as well as those of you who are new to this CPD. Welcome all. And now we will start with Luna, I think.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Ala Odi. So for now, we will have 3 speakers from Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, and they will be shortly introduced to you by our session moderator. And we will be entertaining questions to all our audiences, those who are watching us live on YouTube and Facebook Live, and also here in Zoom. So yes, are we ready for the presentation of our speakers?
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to share with you this short talk about my own perspective regarding continuous professional development in medical imaging. I am Hussein Al-Masri, Associate Professor and Head of Medical Imaging Department, working at Al-Quds University. So, in order to talk about continuous professional development, every radiographer should identify, undertake, and evaluate learning the appropriate and highest standards in practice to keep up their professional development at the tip top of the medical imaging profession. Therefore, many ISRRT member organizations have included systems or approach to require legal things or licenses in order for the radiographer to be registered and work under their umbrella. So my own perspective, in order to keep up the continuous professional development at the tip-top, is to have latest and up-to-date research and development. Here I've shared with you my own profile on the Web of Science, which includes my publications and also my review activity. So I'd like to show with you some of my publications in the field of radiology, beginning from the oldest to the newest. Of course, I'm not going to share everything, but the most important and related topics. I started working on the investigation of thermal and temporal responses of ion chambers in radiation dosimetry. This study, 4 types of chambers were tested in a water phantom. We checked the dependency of temperature and pressure for those ion chambers, and we found that all chambers expanded in response to heating unless the PTW, which is one of the chambers which contracted in response. For absolute dosimetry, it is essential to make corrections for ion chambers, especially when you are using small ion chamber volumes, as can be seen in figure 5 also. You can see the response for 3 chambers, a positive response, whereas PTW showed slightly negative response. In another study published in 2014, the objective of this study is to monitor the occupational radiation doses in a large hospital in Japan. So we evaluated the doses for 10 years for 4 groups, including radiologists, RTs, nurses, and other remaining workers. This study found that only 3% have received doses more than 2 millisieverts, and the radiation technologists or radiographers received the highest radiation exposure, which can be seen from figures 3 and 4. There was some variation in the average annual doses among the 4 groups. This results from differences in nature of work and adherence to radiation protection rules and regulations among different radiation workers. Therefore, it is essential to increase these monitoring efforts and provide continuous education and development and improve the protection of all personnel. In this study, patient radiation doses resulting from chest X-ray examinations were evaluated. In Palestine, the absorbed doses were calculated using Monte Carlo softwares and the average dose, as you can see, was highest in the medical center number 2. This study is somehow comparable to other studies found elsewhere. We believe that this work will contribute to the establishment of a national radiation protection program with clear strategy and vision for minimizing the radiation doses received by population from medical uses of radiation. Another study checked and estimated female radiation doses and breast cancer risk from chest CT examinations in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Also, the doses were evaluated using web-based commercially available Monte Carlo software. Then the organ doses were used to estimate the life attributable risk of breast cancer according to Pierre version 2 of phase 2 report. As you can see, the average dose of this work is comparable to other doses elsewhere, and the lifetime attributable breast risk incidence for different age groups can be seen here in table 4. This study raised the need for responsible national authorities to optimize CT scanning protocols for the same examinations to reduce the patient dose as low as reasonably achievable. The radiation doses and associated risks of breast cancer incidence from chest CT scans are generally low, and the benefits of using CT technology makes it indispensable in the medical imaging of the chest. In this study, we estimated radiation doses from abdominal computed tomography scans. (120) adult patients participated from 10 hospitals, and we checked the main organs of the abdomen, which are liver, stomach, and colon. Doses were assessed using virtual dose CT software. Table 3 shows the mean effective doses and organ doses per hospital, and Table 4 compares the average effective and organ doses between this study and others in different countries. This work, however, is a small-scale study. On the radiation doses received by patients from one of the frequent CT protocols, which is abdominal CT. The results are comparable or mostly less than those reported from other countries with higher levels of healthcare. However, we still have much to do to have the complete picture on radiation doses and medical exposure in our country in order to optimize radiation protection in medical exposure and keep the doses to patients as low as reasonably achievable. In addition to radiation dosimetry from CT, I had a special interest in brachytherapy, and this work entitled Accuracy of Intracavitary Applicator Reconstruction or cervix cancer brachytherapy assessed the accuracy of the applicator reconstruction using homemade phantom, and this phantom mimics clinical applicator placement, and reference points were also used. So 3 stainless steel tandems were used for CT-based imaging. Also, In CT reconstructions, we used 2 Fletcher CT comparable tandems and 2 voids plus X-ray markers to image the phantom. This phantom showed that the variance of the dwell times between the 2 methods was statistically significant due to increased applicator curvature, as can be seen from figures 4 and figure 7. Whenever the curvature increases, the dwell position shifts toward the outside, and therefore there is a significant increase in a significant difference between tandems whenever the degree or the curvature of the tandem increases. In order to apply our phantom study results in clinical settings, further investigation for clinical measurements could be carried out in a further study. In this study, all oncologists followed similar applicator reconstruction protocol, and therefore intra and inter-oncologist variations were small and showed good agreement. Recently, I gained increased attention to patient's voice, and I wanted to also work on interdisciplinary research. Therefore, this study were in collaboration with a professor in the field of psychology to assess depression and anxiety for breast cancer patients undergoing radiotherapy in Palestine. So we checked women who started radiotherapy for breast cancer, and they were given 2 questionnaires to answer, and those answers were correlated to patient age and treatment duration. And we found that the anxiety and depression increase for whenever the patient age increased. Also, the anxiety and depression increased whenever the treatment duration increased. So some interventions may be needed to decrease the anxiety and depression for early stage breast cancer patients undergoing radiation therapy. And in order to help mitigate psychological issues, routine screening and psychological support services should be provided for breast cancer patients. A further step for the current research is to carry out investigation regarding the efficacy and available psychological support services on patients' quality of life and to improve methods used in reducing psychological distress for breast cancer patients undergoing radiotherapy. Another study checked the stress among radiologic technologists during COVID pandemic in Palestine. So this study assessed the level of stress among RTs in COVID-19 quarantine centers in Palestine, and 61 radiation technologists participated in this study using this questionnaire. We found that stress was higher than the average. Also, there was statistically significant difference between radiation technologists who work directly with COVID patients compared to radiation technologists working indirectly. Also, increased levels of stress for RTs having children were found to be higher than those who were single or non-parents. RTs who dealing with COVID patients for prolonged periods of time had also higher levels of stress. Future research should broaden the participant sample, of course, and attempt to recruit more representative population. Also, we used one scale to assess stress-induced cognition, and it was conducted across a short 5-week period. So this potentially impacted the ability for more participants to join and fill in the study scale. A recent study also was done in the Japanese Journal of Health Physics entitled Evaluation of Radiation Doses for Patients Undergoing Abdominal Pelvic CT Examination. We checked the organ and effective doses using Wasari dose calculator. And as shown in table 2, the patient effective doses and organ doses can be seen here. We selected colon, stomach, and prostate or uterus doses to show here. With appropriate evaluation of patient dose, radiation awareness will be improved. The radiation exposure should be reduced and kept as low as reasonably achievable. The CT procedures, of course, are operator dependent, and continuous training in the CT use and radiation safety is crucial. We have to keep in mind that repetition of examinations should always be avoided. Therefore, a national Palestinian survey is highly recommended to establish a national diagnostic reference levels for various CT examinations. This is the latest study on the assessment of effective dose and nonlinear transformation algorithm for low-dose brain CT, in which 37 patients were imaged using Philips CT machine, and those images were reconstructed using IDOS4 reconstruction algorithm and then processed by nonlinear transformation. As it is known, low-dose brain CT provides significant reduction in the effective dose, and the use of NLT algorithm enhances the contrast of the images. However, it cannot be used in the absence of original or source images. Part of the professional development comes from making research, producing research, and in addition to that, professional development comes also through reviewing. Participating as a reviewer increases the experience of a radiographer through learning and watching how the world evolve in the profession of medical imaging. So I urge radiographers, experienced radiographers, to volunteer to different journals for making reviews. I have made many reviews in past years for plenty of journals: Academic Radiology, Advances in Radiation Oncology, European Journal of Radiology and Radiography are the most journals that I make review for, in addition to other journals seen next to them. At the end of this short presentation, I'd like to thank the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists for inviting me to give this lecture. And I wish everyone best of luck and success in their profession. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to be here today to share insights and knowledge on current application of nanomaterials in biomedical imaging. And as we embark on this journey together, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to address this distinguished audience. And on behalf of the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, PAMRT, and the Palestinian Radiographers, I'm very delighted to thank you all for this valuable occasion and for choosing me to be with you today. Well, our journey will take us into the world of advancement in biocompatible magnetic nanocontrast enhancement agents for MRI and their significance in early cancer diagnosis. We will delve into the fascinating realm of nanotechnology and its vital role in improving the way we detect and diagnose cancer in its early stage and how this could impact the treatment process. Well, firstly, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Firas Faheli. I am a PhD candidate and researcher in the field of nanomedicine. I also serve as the chairman of the Department of Medical Imaging at Hebron University in Palestine. And it was with my great honor to be a member of the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists since 2014. So, ladies and gentlemen, my presentation today will revolve around 5 pivotal focal points. We will firstly delve into the realm of medical imaging, highlighting its indispensable role within medical profession in general and underscoring its significance in the realm of diagnosis and cancer in particularly. We shall then proceed to examine cancer as a disease entity, elucidating the pivotal role played by medical imaging in the early diagnosis of disalignment. And moreover, we will scrutinize the contemporary challenges that confront the landscape of medical imaging today, especially in its ability to detect cancer during its early stages. So this examination will pave the way of our explorations of emerging trends in nanotechnology and their current application in the field of biomedical imaging. Finally, we shall immerse ourselves in more detailed discussion about one of the most prominent and promising nanomaterials in use today for biomedical imaging application, which known as the spions or the super paramagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles. As a part of my research, I will present empirical results showing and clarifying their remarkable capabilities as an MRI imaging enhancement contrast agents. So before we start talking about anything, it's very essential to understand our professions and figuring out our duties. So when we say medical imaging, it's very important to know what is the significance, what is the prominence of this profession. So briefly, medical imaging is considered a vital medical profession within the field of healthcare that dedicated to visualizing the internal structure of the human body to aid in the diagnosis of various medical conditions. So this could be accomplished through the use of cutting-edge technologies and specialized techniques. Well, today, obviously, medical imaging professionals play a critical role in providing physicians with the detailed insights necessary for accurate diagnosis and treatment planning. It's known as the eyes of medicine, and its role are including diagnosis, treatment planning, disease monitoring, and early detection of cancer, which we will talk specifically today. Well, according to the WHO, today cancer is considered from the top 3 leading cause of mortality worldwide. And according to a study conducted in 2020, almost 10 million deaths in a rate of 1 death over 6 is attributed to cancer. So what is cancer? Well, basically cancer is a very complex disease because it involves genetic changes which are abnormal alternation in the cell DNA, leading to uncontrolled cell growth and the formation of tumors. What sets cancers apart is its capacity to invade and spread, as cancer cell can move to other parts of the body causing significant harm. So in this graph, we observe the incidence and mortality rate of common type of cancers. And it's very clear that breast cancer is stand out as the #1 on both incidence and mortality rates. And this is regardless of its type, whether it's IDC, invasive ductal carcinoma, or ILC, invasive lobular carcinoma. Early detection always holds the key for curability and getting an extraordinary treatment efficiency. That's why the scientific community today is dedicated to this cause, and there's always a crucial question, which is how do we achieve early cancer detection? So let's agree that early detection of cancer is crucial as it's increased the opportunity of successful treatment and improved survival rates. And to be honest, medical imaging technologies often play the most important role in early detection and therapeutic response assessment of various diseases and specifically cancer. So, for example, we can see here the 2 year survival rate of a gastrointestinal tract cancer patients who benefited from early detection and has been observed to be much higher than those without early detection. It's almost like 93 versus 33%. Okay. Another example is the 10-year mortality rate for breast cancer patients who benefited from early detection was reduced from 28% to 17%. Well, current imaging modality used for cancer diagnosis include computed tomography, magnetic resonance imaging, ultrasound, and positron emission tomography. And so commonly, to improve lesion detection, maybe more than one imaging modality can be combined together. Well, for technically get more accurate anatomical and functional information, medical imaging contrast agents are utilized to distinguish between normal tissue and abnormal lesions. So the role of medical imaging in cancer diagnosis can be concluded into 3 main approaches. So firstly, they excel at early detection and localization, enabling healthcare professionals to identify cancer's lesion and precisely pinpoint their location. And secondly, medical imaging facilitates characterization and staging, allowing for a comprehensive understanding of cancer in its size, extent, and whether it's spread to nearby tissue or organs. And lastly, these technologies serve as invaluable assist for treatment monitoring and follow-up, providing clinicians with their real-time insights into how the patient's responding to therapy and ensuring timely adjustment when necessary. Is this enough or not? I would say there are still a limitation in these approaches. So as I mentioned before, there are several common obstacles that can impede early cancer diagnosis using current medical imaging technologies, and they are including small lesion detection. Small tumor or lesion can be challenging to detect using traditional imaging method, and especially if we are talking about a lesion or a mass that's located in a complex anatomy or surrounded by a dense tissue. This can lead to a false negative, which indeed delayed the diagnosis. The overlapping symptoms. Some cancers symptoms may mimic those of other non-cancerous conditions.
So, as I mentioned previously, to get more accurate anatomical and functional information, medical imaging contrast agents is used to improve the image resolution, and I would say this can be accomplished by basically distinguishing between the normal tissue and the abnormal tissues. So in this approach, there are several types of contrast agents that used today in medical imaging to enhance the visibility of a specific tissue and structure. And these kind of contrast agents is basically used in CT scan and magnetic resonance imaging. But this type of contrast agents is typically limited by the way they administrated to the human body, and they are administered either by orally or by IV, means intravenous, and both approaches is employing as a non-specific and systemic approach. So this means that the contrast material that will introduce into the body either by oral or by IV will fastly circulate through the entire body before eventually accumulating in the target organ. So this will lead to concentrate in certain type of tissue, and the enhancement or the improvement in the image resolution will be based on the organ level. Okay, so there is no specific distribution, and this will actually affect their effectiveness in the detection of masses, especially the very small mass that are less than 3 millimeter in size. And there's another drawbacks, which is these contrast agents that used today are basically composed of very small molecules that exhibit a very fast metabolism and have a non-specific distribution, and they are potentially have some kind of toxic side effects. So the basic kinds of contrast agent that's used today to enhance the medical imaging contrast is basically the iodine-based contrast agent, which is identified as a radioapic highly atomic number material that's used to enhance the X-ray attenuation during CT scan procedures, especially for the low attenuated tissue, and thus make it more visible. The other kind of contrast enhancement agents that are utilized today for the purpose of image enhancement is the gadolinium-based contrast agents, and this kind of contrast agent is basically composed of a paramagnetic material that used in MRI, and it's actually capable of altering the relaxation times of nearby hydrogen protons, because basically the MRI signals is based on the intensity of protons that existing in the specific tissue. So this will eventually leading to improve the contrast agents in MRI. So basically, in addition to the previous mentioned limitation of the current contrast enhancement agents that used for image enhancement today in different medical imaging procedures, there are several other drawbacks that associated with the use of current contrast agents. This limitation is collectively either the early cancer detection, so they are basically affecting the capabilities of this imaging procedure in detecting cancer in its early stage. So thereby impacting the effectiveness of the treatment and ultimately contributing to a high mortality rate. So a common associated limitation of current contrast agents actually including basically the limited tumor specificity, and which means that many contrast agents distribute through the whole body and accumulate in various tissue, not just in cancer lesions or cancer tissues. So this will lead of a tumor specificity can make it challenging to be distinguished from the healthy tissue, and this potentially leading to something called the positive or the false positive or false negative, which is very common limitation known today for imaging procedures. The other limitation is the vascular heterogeneity, and what means in this is a tumor is often have a complex blood vessels network. We know that tumors always has a very high vascular intensity networks, and this will has some differences in the permeability. Okay, so this can lead to non-uniform uptake of the contrast agents. Okay, some of the tumors maybe or some part of the tumors could be uptake the contrast in a very high concentration, and some others will have it in a very low concentration, which will in the end of the day make it difficultly or make it very hard to be accurately assess the tumor boundaries or the tumor size or the tumor shape and their characteristic. Another limitation, which is the metastatic lesions, and some metastatic lesions might not show significant contrast enhancement, particularly if they have lower vascular intensity or they are small in size, because this will lead to misdetection and incomplete staging, okay, which is very serious in terms of detecting cancers. Other things about current contrast agent is the nephrogenic systemic fibrosis, or the NFS. And this is very obvious and common when using gadolinium-based contrast agents that utilize an MRI. They are associated with rare but a serious condition called the NSF, or the nephrogenic systemic fibrosis, in patients with who suffered from impaired kidney function or has some dysfunctionality in their renal system. So this will limit their use in a certain kind of patients population. Another point which is very serious as well, it's the renal clearance and retention, and this is a very top issue. Both we are talking about the iodine and the gadolinium based agents, because they can be exerted through the kidney, which can pose a challenge for patients with kidney dysfunctionality, as I have mentioned previously. So gadolinium agents have also been found to accumulate in certain tissue, and this could raise the concern about the long-term retention and potential health effects, I would say health toxic side effects. There is a very common and very known points that maybe every radiographers face during his duties, which is the allergic reaction. Some of the patients may experience allergic reaction to contrast agents through these procedures, and these reactions actually usually will be mild, but in rare case severe allergic reaction can occur, and this will make it like as a medical or as a serious medical condition. The most and the top 1 points and top 1 limitation of current contrast agents that always push researchers to find a substitute for this kind of agent is the temporal resolution. The temporal resolution of the resulted image that has been enhanced by the current contrast agents. So specifically in dynamic imaging studies like dynamic contrast enhanced MRI, the timing of contrast agents administration and I would say the washout can impact the assessment of tumor perfusion and other dynamic characteristic, and I would explain it in some point that the current gadolinium contrast agent and even the iodine contrast agents have a very fast metabolism. They are circulated inside the body very fastly, so they don't have the opportunity to be concentrated well fine in the target organ. So I mean the level of enhancement for this organ will not be perfect to the degree that we can detect a small lesion or small masses inside this organ. So this will indeed affecting the performance of these kind of contrast agents in early detection of cancer mass. Well, after highlighting the issues that relating to the use of current contrast agents, whether it's used in CT scan or in MRI, okay, let's be honest and let's agree that this kind of contrast has a very severe impact and they have a critical effectiveness
on the performance of these imaging modalities, and this effect will be basically on the cancer early diagnosis or detecting the cancer in the early stages. So this led us to critical questions that always appear in the scientific society, which is, what is the alternative? Or is there any alternative? Well, the answer for this question is very simple, and yes, there is an alternative. And the alternative is the nanomaterials. We always hear about the nanomaterials, and it's actually a trending keywords today in the scientific engines or websites. So nanomaterials actually today involve almost in every single type of science, from medicine, engineering, environment, and even in biomedical application, which is our interest. So I can conclude the uses of nanomaterials in biomedical application in 5 main categories, starting from drug delivery, biosensing, bioimaging, which is our interest in today's lectures, hyperthermia, and photoablation therapy. So what is make the nanomaterials very unique? This is very important to know as well. So recently, nanomaterials have simulated efforts in improving the detection and imaging due to its unique passive, active, and physical targeting properties. One of the most distinguished feature of the nanomaterials, which is considered a limitation in the traditional contrast agent, is their very small size. When we are talking about nanomaterials, we are talking about materials have a size in the nanoscale, which exhibited an enhanced permeability and retention, or APR effect, in tumor, which will eventually improve and dramatically enhance the way these tumor uptake the contrast. All right, so this will highly relative to local tumor concentration, okay, of the nano contrast agents. So this will reflected on improving the cancer early detection. So let's be clear that nanoparticles and nanomaterials in general has introduced several significant and extraordinary advantages to medical imaging. And I would say in this approach, they have almost addressed all of the previous limitation of traditional contrast agents by inducing a new enhancement diagnostic capabilities. And these capabilities is actually conclude as the following. They are considered as enhanced contrast agents. So nanoparticles can be engineered and synthesized or functionalized or characterized to have a specific properties that improve the contrast enhancement. Nanoparticles also could be a tumor-specific targeting agents. We can design the nanoparticles to target a specific molecules or receptors that overexpress on cancer cells. So this will increase the specificity of the contrast agent accumulation in the tumor, and thus reducing the false positive and false negative, okay, and this will lead to improve or dramatically improving the diagnostic accuracy, especially in the early stage of the cancer. This was not the case in using the traditional contrast agents. Another thing is evasion of the RES clearance, because we are talking about very small particles in size, so it can be cleared very well from the body. Multimodal imaging, these particles could have or could combine or could be designed to work as a double agents for multi-imaging modalities like MRI and the fluorescent together. So this will provide some additional characteristic about the tumor, which indeed improve the diagnostic confidence. Theranostic, a very trending approach today linked to the nanoparticles. So nanoparticles
cannot only have a diagnostic approaches, but it can also induce therapeutic applications. Okay, so one agent can have two purposes. It could be diagnosis and therapy together in a term called deterministic. And others properties, other features like image-guided intervention, improve the temporal resolution, which is very serious and important today. The reduction of the adverse side effect that was facing using the traditional contrast agent today by using the nanomaterials or the nanoparticles. We no longer have these kind of toxic side effects. Even if the material itself is toxic, it can be covered or it can be immersed in biocompatible materials. Sensitive detection of early stage lesions, which is very serious. So nanoparticles enhanced imaging can improve the detection of early stage cancers, and this will of course enhance and improve the efficiency of the treatment, and that was not the case with the conventional imaging contrast agents. So as we are talking about nanoparticles, in this regard there are several types of nanoplatforms that employed today's in biomedical applications, starting from the gold nanoparticles with their unique plasmonic properties, quantum dots that has an exceptional fluorescent capabilities allowing for tracking of biological molecules, the super paramagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles, or what's known as spions, which is invaluable for MRI enhancement, and I personally work with, and we will discuss furthermore, silicon nanoparticles, liposomal nanoparticles, carbon nanotubes, the CNTs, and the polymetric nanoparticles. Okay, all of these platforms has a very unique biomedical application, and it's involved in biomedical imaging. So as I mentioned shortly, in my research, me and my team, we have successfully synthesized super paramagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles with exceptional size distribution, measuring at 9.1 nanometers and 21.7 nanometers. So this achievement underscores their potential as a pioneering approach for early cancer detection using MRI. Spions actually offer a compelling alternative to the conventional contrast agents, which is known as the gadolinium, because of their small size, biocompatibility, exceptional magnetic properties, facilitate functionalization, the capacity for targeting imaging and specific accumulation. These attributed not only reduce the likelihood of false positive and negative, but also open the doors to a potential therapeutic applications. In combining with the FESIM and the TIM images as you see here in this slide, you can witness the remarkable structure and characteristic of spions synthesized in our research. This will underscoring their potential as a game-changing tool in the early cancer detection via MRI. So as I mentioned previously, our research has provided some interesting insights about the magnetization of our synthesized spions. According to the VSM graph, as we see here in this slides, we observe that the magnetization value of the spions alone is around 54 AMU per Gauss, highlighting their excellent magnetic properties. Furthermore, when these spions were coated with gold, suppose their magnetization will be dramatically decreased, but they are interestingly remained notably high at 38 AMU per Gauss. And this is demonstrating their stability and magnetic strength. Well, we can see also from this short video how our synthesized spions interact with the permanent magnet. When we are trying to collect it, we can see that these nanoparticles is attracted very hard due to the magnet, indicating their remarkable super paramagnetic properties. Well, after evaluating the magnetic properties of the spions, we got they have been tested under MRI at different concentration. And I can tell you something, the results have been remarkable. The image in this slide show the MRI signals obtained by different concentration of the spurions. And this significant enhancement in the image signals underscored their effectiveness as a contrast agent for MRI, which is promising. And this could enhance and improve the diagnostic capabilities and will, of course, will improve the cancer early detection. So as we move forward, our research goals will focus on the next critical step, which is conducting in vivo studies to explore further capabilities of these spurions and to study their ability to be alternative for MRI contrast agents. Well, in conclusion, the utilization of nanomaterials in biomedical imaging has brought about a transformative shift marked by improved the contrast and sensitivity of imaging technique. So these versatile materials have enabled targeting delivery, extended circulation times, and facilitating multimodal image, enhance our ability to visualize and understand biological system, and notably they incorporated in some potential reducing of the toxic side effects inducing in traditional contrast agents. As we continue to explore and focus on the capabilities of nanotechnology, it's evident that our journey towards more precise and effective biomedical imaging is on the promising trajectory. Well, last and not least, thank you all for your time and attention. Together, we have explored the exciting potential of nanotechnology in biomedical imaging. Your interest and support are greatly appreciated as we work toward for a future of more precise healthcare. I would like to say I was very happy to be here today. Thank you all once again, and I hope I can address another lecture in another great occasion like this. Thank you all very much.
Assalamu alaikum and have a good day, everyone. I am Tawfiq Ziyut from Palestine. I am a PhD candidate in University of Butra, Malaysia. In this presentation, I am going to present my slide about the research skills in medical studies. Let me first share the screen. Okay, this study will, in this presentation, we will talk about the research skills in medicine, in medical studies. Actually, in this presentation, I am going to talk about the research writing overview and also the research paper structure and tips for improving the quality of research and QA session. As we know, the research is so important for improving our career and also to share our knowledge with the public and also the other researchers to provide them with some limitation and recommendation to start the new and also improve to let them to improve our research. And also as you see here in this slide, the structure of article, usually we use PAMRT style. PAMRT from like I from the introduction, M from methodology, and R from result, and D from discussion. Called PAMRT. Actually, here we will talk about some skills we need to improve the quality of research. The first skills, like curious skills, we have like to come up with the question and like a critical question. Like for example, when we made this research in 2020, actually we come with like we thinking about how to estimate the body height. As you know, many research about the estimation body height, but they use like the limbs. But we are like keep thinking to provide a new problem statement and to get like a new problem statement. And the new thing and the important thing in this research to using the spinal length, and also like this research also to help the doctors or the forensic department to know the height of the body actually in the people who lose the limbs. And the second skills, I will talk about the observation. The observation, we need like to make sure we didn't miss any information about our research. We need like to keep note, write a note or recording when you meet like your supervisor, or you have like to make sure. And also when you search in the database for the related article, you need like to make like systematic about your research. And the reading is so important. Actually, before you start writing your research and you make your research, also you need to make reading about the research you need to make. Like to and this reading you have like to make some skills to read the all articles and all books and anything from the library we use for reading. So you make sure you have like to start with your the abstract. After that, you make like filtering the article is included in your study or excluded. And please remember that. Please study smart, not hard. Okay, the next is the planning skills. Here we talk about how we can collect our data and who the population of the study, or and also the we study also here where I can collect my data. So for example, in our research, we use like 107. We use like this like flowchart or the planning for my study to know I am going for the 170 cases after the make a sample size for my research. To calculate the sample size is 107. After that, we need to make sure all these cases underwent for the CT scan and make the measurement for the spinal length, measurement for the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and also the measurement for the from the C1 to L5 by straight line and ellipse line. And after that, we need to make the analysis for this data, and we make also compare them with the autopsy length and to make the estimation or the formula to calculate the body height. Okay. After we planning how to collect the data, so we need now to collecting the data. Actually, there is many ways to collect the data. Some researchers use questionnaire, use interview, use clinical data. In our research, we use the spinal length measurement. We go to the forensic department and look for the autopsy and take the all measurement for the cervical as from the top point from the C1 to inferior point to C7, and also from T1 to T12, and from L1 to L5, and they also make two measurements from C1 to L5 by straight line and also ellipse. It's when we make all the data collection is important, and is important, and we need like to record our make recording the data. Actually, I advise everyone to make all the data in one place for more organizing the data. Like for example, here we make like Excel sheet and put all the measurement and also like all the data we collected from the autopsy, like the age, the weight, the height, everything, and also the all measurements for the spine we put in one Excel sheet. So it will make us like easy to organize the data. After recording the data, we need to analyze this data to get our result using some tools, like for example table, figures, and also flowchart. For analyzing the our data, and this, like you see here, the tables to like to description the age of age group or the gender or the ethnic group, and also to see the correlation between all the measurement we did in our research with the autopsy length. We find here there is a good relation shape and also the significant between L1 to S1, between the lumbar vertebra measurement and also the thoracic with the autopsy length. After the analyzing, we collaborate. We here to talk about the collaboration. The collaboration skills it's so important for the research because the research not independent work. So the collection so important. Some time we need to like collaborate with other department, other faculty, other from with the people from other country also. Is dependent on your research or your study. Like for example, when we make this study, we collaborate with the people from Malaysia, Palestine, and also from Nigeria. We collaborate, and this is also from different affiliation. And also we need to talk about the writing skills. Actually, when we have like the data and we have the result now, we need to talk. We need like to share our result with the other people, our research with other researcher, and also with the public. So we need like to present when we talk about the writing skills. So we need to share with them with the books or the articles or the thesis we can write to provide all the people about, or to let the researcher know about what we did in our research. Actually, in this part, I hope if I get chance next time to make a full workshop or a full presentation about the writing skills. But here I just put like headline about the writing skills. We can start with the title. The title should be like specific, but not like a technical word. We have to use like a word everyone can understand, not the specialist. And also the title usually describe the content of the research. The abstract. Abstract is not easy to write abstract and then to gather also your research in some journal ask about 150 word, and some journal 300 word, and some 500. I think maximum 500 and minimum 150. But it's not easy to make. You have like to make sure you have the skills how to write the abstract. Actually, there is also some style dependent on the journal. There is some style, informative abstract, or descriptive abstract, or structured abstract, or unstructured abstract. Actually, and because I understand my time is limited for this presentation, I just go fast about this headline about the research. But I hope if I get chance to make another presentation to present all of this clearly, and also the introduction. The introduction, we can start with the general. We have to start with the general sentence, like a definition, and end with the specific point in our research, like our objective or the question research, the research question. And also next, the methodology. This methodology, actually, I saw some researcher make mistake in this part. They put some result in the methodology. No need. Just focus on your methodology, the study design, the study subject, the study location, the sample size, the ethical approval. Also, you can write here also the tools, or the way you, or the like what you did, what the technique you used in your research, you can include in the methodology part. The result is this part for to summarize or to put all results you have done in your research, the finding, the important finding also. The discussion, also here you have to like to highlight the most significant result you got, but please don't repeat what you wrote in the result part. The conclusion is the smallest part in the article is around like usually not more than like 5 or 1 paragraph, or 5 sentence. Actually, and also the acknowledgement. This is the optional section. You can also sometimes we need to thank and the acknowledgement for the people who provide us with the important idea or information about our research. The references, there is actually several possible ways to organize the references, and also is dependent. There is many also styles in the reference. We need to follow the journals about the style. Sorry for that, I didn't explain much about this. I just give like the headline about writing skills because I need to finish my limited time. I understand that, and actually another thing or another skills we can use to present our work to other people is the presentation skills. Presentation skills is so important for sharing our knowledge and our research with other people or other researchers. We can, for example, we can go by the speaker in the conference, so you can like share your presentation, and also poster also in the conference, and also in the Viva to share your thesis knowledge, your study with the other professor, and also like normal meeting, any meeting you have with the researcher, you can also give the presentation what you have done in your research. Thank you so much, and I hope this presentation will be give more information to you about the skills. And here I just share my biography, and I will be very happy if I contribute with you and your future work or future research. I will be very happy, and also I just give here my WhatsApp number and my email, because this presentation I am going just to recording, not live, but I just put my WhatsApp and email for any question for the Q&A section. Please just WhatsApp me, or feel free to ask me anything, any contribution you need, any question you have in my presentation. Please, you can feel free to ask about this using my WhatsApp number or my email. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for all our speakers, and we will reintroduce our speakers to you. Dr. Hussein, he received his doctoral degree in radiology medicine from the University of UCAS in Japan. He holds a professional qualification as a licensed radiological technologist from the Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, and he's a member of the Japan Society of Medical Physics, also a member of the steering committee of the International Academic Network of the ISRRT. Hussein's research and publications are interdisciplinary and include topics in radiation dosimetry, radiography, radiation therapy, radiation safety, health sciences, and physiology. Thanks for Dr. Hussein for his presentation. Dr. Firas Al-Haili, he's a candidate and a PhD in nanomedicine, where his research focuses on magnetic hybrid nano agents for biomedical imaging applications. And he is the youngest chairman of the Department of Medical Imaging at Hebron University. Thanks for Dr. Firas for his presentation. and Dr. Tawfiq Zayyoud from Palestine also. He also has a candidate and student in Beirut, Malaysia, and he's a member of Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists and member of Europe Society of Radiology and member of the Federation Association of Radiology and Medical Imaging Specialists. Thanks for our speakers, and now panelists are now welcome to direct question and to speakers. Please open mic and camera to be ready to get the questions for the speakers.
Yes, we don't see any questions from our live audience on YouTube, and same here in Zoom. So maybe we can just ask some more other panelists who were here for additional information if they have, before we ask our speakers to give final messages. Right, Ala?
Yes, is there any questions here? We don't have any questions yet. Speakers, please, panelists, please, if you have any question, please send it to the Q&A. Okay, if there's no questions for our speakers, thank you all for your attendance here, and thanks for our speakers and for their times. And we'll now finish this the session with Luna. Thank you all.
There you have it. Thank you so much to our session moderator, Ms. Ala Muhammad Ayman Ode. And again, thank you very much to all our presidents and to our panelists. The Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologies has just provided us with 3 great speakers who have just shared to us very interesting discussions. Thank you so much again to Dr. Hossein Al-Masri, to Dr. Fairaz Faili, and to Dr. Tawfiq E.T. Yuzud. Thank you so much to all of you. So for now, as we know, we have learned so much from all of your interesting and important discussions, but with the interest of time, we have to cut from here to give way for the closing session. So now I know you are all excited to know about the next exciting online CPD Asia schedule. So please welcome the President of Singapore Society of Radiographers, President Denise Chung, to give us her invitation.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much to the Palestinian Society Association for today's CPD Asia session. So the upcoming CPD Asia will be hosted by Singapore, the Singapore Society of Radiographers, and it will be held on the, let me just double check my dates. It will be held on the 7th of October. Yeah, 7th October at 2 p.m. Singapore time. So the posters will go up with the exact timings for the various regions. So do stay tuned, look out for our update on the SSR Instagram and SSR Facebook. And we hope to see you online then. Thank you, Fiji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And there you met the President of Singapore Society of Radiographers, the next society to host the 30th CPD Asia, and mark your calendar, and that will be held on October 7, 2023. So in closing, we give our thanks to the support of our sponsors and the VT Healthcare Vietnam. Also, we are grateful to our 3 3 great speakers. And most of all, we are sincerely thankful to all the member societies, presidents, to all our hardworking CPD Asia team, and to everyone, all the participants who have made this online CPD Asia program a success. We would like again to see you in the next CPD Asia. Again, I am Peachy Luna and I say thank you everyone. Have a great day and good morning in Palestine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Palestine.
Alam, Odin.
Thank you, the speaker. Thank you, Peachy.
Thank you, Madam.
Nice to see you again online.
Thank you. Inshallah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Recording stopped.